So, good evening, beloved brothers and sisters. Thank you for being here with us today.
Welcome to the inaugural event of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community in the South Europe. My name is David Piquet.
I'm Sarah Piquet. As you may notice, we are both from Spain. We have been part of this interreligious vision for more than 30 years.
And we are privileged to be your MCs for today's event. For those requiring translation, we have translation available in 3 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. To hear the audio in your language, you have to select it at the lower part of your screen. There should be a tab called Interpretation. It has a globe icon. Click on it and select your language. The Italian translation is going to be on the Korean channel. We are at the beginning of the program in this interreligious vision. We will transcend boundaries of faith, race, and history. So we are determined to build one family under our Heavenly Parents.
As Ben Arabi said, I follow the way of love, and where love's caravan takes the path, there is my religion, my faith.
In less than 10 minutes, we will begin with the main program, which will last about 1 hour. We have the honor of having brothers and sisters from different faiths, and we share a message with us all today.
And right after, the president of the Family Federation for World Peace in Europe, South Region, will share words of reflection and inspiration with all of us.
But before we start with that part of the program, we're going to watch a presentation of the founder of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community. This is a key moment in history of humankind and in our understanding of the Creator of the universe. With that, I ask you, give your full attention to this video so we can all receive a clear vision about the role and work of Hak Jahan in this providential time.
(5월) 하면 가장 아름다운 계절, 희망의 계절이라고 말하죠. 며칠 전 내가 천정궁 뜰에서 철쭉꽃밭을 거닐 때에 언제 나왔는지 벌나비들이 춤추며 열심히 일을 하고 있는 장면을 보았어요. 그때 나는 창조주 하늘 부모님, 그분이 꿈이 있으시어 천지 만물을 창조하시고 이러한 아름다운 계절을 인간을 위하여 만들어 주셨는데, 특히 코로나 사태로 인해서 전 세계 나라들이 국경 봉쇄, 모든 면에서 하나 될 수 없는 자국을 중심 삼은 일로 나아갈 때 인간의 노력과 힘으로는 더 이상 하나 될 수 없는 평화의 세계가 올 수 없다는 것을 보여주셨습니다. 그래서 나는 이 코로나 기간 동안 55일간 깊은 정성의 기도를 드렸습니다. 한 사람도 이 땅에 살고 있는 백성들이 하늘 부모님을 몰라서는 안 됩니다. 참 부모를 몰라서는 안 됩니다. 그렇기 때문에 나는 모든 정계, 종교계, 재계, 사상계 할 것 없이 모든 사람들이 하나로 한 깃발 아래 모일 수 있는 하늘 부모님 성회로 발표합니다. 영어로 말하게 되면은 Heavenly Parent Holy Community, 하늘 부모님의 큰 우산 아래 그동안 우리가 해왔던 모든 NGO, 천주연합, 가정연합, 여성연합 모든 것이 그 안에 들어가서 120% 하늘 부모님을 증거해야 됩니다. 알겠습니까?
What a wonderful and powerful message to hear. As I said before, it's a very important time in history where we are asked to be participants and not just spectators.
So following our program, we'd like to invite Sabina Neto, university student and responsible for CARP in Portugal. She will read from the World Scriptures.
Hello, good afternoon. So I'm going to read a passage from the World Scripture and the teaching of Sun Myung Moon, chapter 20, which is Society, page 1030. Unity and community. Each religion has a vision of unity for its own believers. Today we cherish a greater vision of the unity of the whole human race, encompassing people of every race, religion, and nationality. Nevertheless, the principles for forming a community remain the same. Scriptures provide guidance because every religion began as a movement of unity, bringing together disparate groups to join together in a new society around the universal teaching. Father Moon teaches that this unity has to penetrate every family, for the family is the basis for all greater levels of social unity. Several passages use the metaphor of the human body, whose various organs perform their functions in a coordinated way, to depict the varieties of social roles that should mutually support each other in a harmonious community. The body depends on the proper functioning of all its parts, from the lowest to the highest. Likewise, in a true community, everyone has a place of honor. Teachings of Sun Myung Moon. God's greatest desire is that all humankind, all five colors, would wish to unite and live together with God eternally. More than outward agreement, the important thing is to achieve inward unity, unity of heart. To accomplish the gigantic task of unification, we need to find a gigantic power. This is none other than the power of supreme love, love that does not become the circumstantial victim of society. Supreme love transcends every national, racial, and cultural barrier. Ordinary human love is limited. Down through history, it has shown itself unable to overcome these barriers. Therefore, we must center on the love and heart of God. People from the East and West rejoice to meet here today because around that axis, the heart of God is linking us together as one. So I truly believe that God's most sincere and most profound desire is really to have all of his children and all of humankind united, not only as one true family, but also as a holy community. And the way to achieve this is through true love and by living for the sake of others. And the truth is that we're all gathered here today from different nations and different countries, but we all have the same determination to make a new resolution. And the heart of God and the love of God is what is bringing us together and linking us together. So it's a great honor to be here with everyone, and I want to send many blessings to all of our South region. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabina Neto, for setting up the right atmosphere for the Holy Spirit to be with us today.
We're now in the main program, where we will have prayers and guidance from world religion leaders. The prophet Isaiah said, "How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace." A similar feeling comes to us when we invite our first speaker, Rabbi Barbara Irit Aiello, founder of the Pluralistic Judaism in Italy and Rabbi of the Liberal Progressive Synagogue in Italy, the first and only woman rabbi in Italy. Let's welcome her.
Thank you. Thank you. Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to participate in this very exciting initiative. Today, I want to speak about religious pluralism and share my experiences that bring those of us of different religions together in a community of love. I begin with a personal experience, something that happened to me while serving my synagogue as rabbi here in Calabria. It was late one afternoon when I heard a knock on the door, and I opened to find a young man, tall and thin, standing before me. His name was Luca, and his grandfather had recently passed away. He said, "My nono was a wonderful grandfather. When I was a little boy, he told me stories of our family, how we once lived in Spain, and how we had moved from one place to another. Grandfather said we were from a strong people." What people? I wondered. He never said, but when he lay dying, he asked that I open a small drawer on his desk and reach inside. I did, said Luca, and this is what I found. At this point, Luca carefully placed his treasured item on my table, my kitchen table, and I recognized it at once. This is a special Jewish pointer. It is a little hand. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
It is a little hand at one end, and it is called a yad, which is the Hebrew word for hand. A yad like this one was once used to read the sacred Torah scroll, the most important of all of our Jewish literature. Nono said that if I ever met a rabbi, I should bring this and show it. Nono said that a rabbi would tell me what it is. As I held this yad in my hand, I realized what had just happened. Jewish traditions, long hidden, had come to light, and through a grandfather's deathbed admission, Luca was about to learn about his family's hidden heritage. Later, I invited Luca to come with me, to join me in our synagogue. I took the Torah from its special cabinet, and I gave this precious yad to Luca, and together I guided his hand as he used his grandfather's yad to touch the ancient Hebrew words on the scroll. This is your heritage, I said to Luca. Your grandfather wanted you to know that long, long ago, your family was Jewish. Luca's story is a story about religious pluralism, especially when he explained how he found the courage to knock on the door. I was so afraid to speak about this, Luca said. I already had an idea that our family might have been Jewish, but I was so afraid. So when I went to the priest, some in my family had been Catholic for generations. Don Gigi told me I should talk to you. Don Gigi Giuliano is now retired, and he was the parish priest of our village here in Serra Stretta. Together, we found a way to incorporate the principles of religious pluralism into our faith communities, resulting in a greater understanding between us. There are 4 basic points that guide our thinking. So let us use our story of the young man Luca, Don Gigi, the parish priest, and my role as the synagogue rabbi to apply religious pluralism to real life settings. Principle 1, pluralism is not diversity alone, but the energetic engagement with the diversity. We need to meet face to face, person to person. There are Catholics and Jews in our village. We are diverse, but we do not only talk about diversity, Jews and Catholics actually do things together. For example, we share the biblical holidays. For Jews, it is called Sukkot. For Catholics, the Feast of the Tabernacles. For Jews, it's called Shavuot. For Catholics, the Pentecost. We visit each other's houses of worship, and both groups often join together for cooperative study and cultural exchange. Principle 2, pluralism expands religious tolerance to require that people of different religions specifically understand each other's beliefs. For our little village, it was not enough for our congregations to know that a synagogue was located 2 streets behind the church. As spiritual leaders, we wanted our congregants to understand what happens behind the doors. For 17 years, we have offered opportunities for our congregants to come together to study each other's religion, to ask questions about it, to share misconceptions about our respective beliefs. Principle 3, religious pluralism is not relativism. Instead, religious pluralism requires respect for individual religious identity. Don Gigi and I have modeled religious pluralism by participating in each other's festivals and life cycle events. Because we do not pressure each other theologically, Don Gigi made a blessing for a wedding of a Jewish interfaith couple, and during Mass, I read a selection from the prophets in Hebrew so that the congregants could hear a portion of the Bible in its original language. And principle 4, the last principle, religious pluralism is based on dialogue. Dialogue which requires both speaking and listening, and does not require that everyone always agree. Don Gigi opened the dialogue of religious pluralism many years ago when he announced that he would accept my invitation to the synagogue to learn about the celebration of Hanukkah. He said, because Hanukkah is a festival of religious freedom, it is good for Catholics and Jews to celebrate together. Thanks to religious pluralism, Luca, the young man in our story, was not torn emotionally when his grandfather shared the family secret. When Luca was given his grandfather's yad, and along with it, the gift of his Jewish identity, he understood that both of us, Don Gigi, the Catholic priest, and I, the Jewish rabbi, would extend the hand of friendship and acceptance, and that both of us would welcome Luca home. Psalm 133 is so important. Hine matovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachat. How good and pleasant it is, evona joya, di saderi insieme, di sit together, to dwell together as brothers and sisters. This is Pope John Paul II, the late Pope's favorite psalm, and he said that is because we Jews are the older brothers and sisters of the Christians. And I sing it for you. Hine matovu manaim shevet achim gam yachat. Hine matovu manaim shevet achim gam yachat. Hine matov, la 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 la. Hine matov, la 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 la. Hine matovu manaim. Shevet achim gam yachat. Grazie mille, buongiorno e shalom.
Wow, thank you, Rabbi Barbara. Thank you for
You're
your
welcome.
words of inspiration and for sharing with us about those 4 principles. I think we couldn't start in a better way. Even though you say it's not necessary, I personally agree with your points.
Well, next, I would like to invite Father Antonio de Oliveira Colimo. He is a member of the Catholic Church, born in India, ordained priest in 1964 in Bombay during the visit of Pope Paul VI to India. He arrives in Lisbon in 1970, and in 1993, he became parish priest of São Francisco Xavier, Lisbon. Well, just to clarify, when Father Colimão speaks, the Portuguese translator will translate into English using the same slot in the interpretation button.
Agora estamos a ouvir, ok, pronto.
Uma comunidade universal sob o
So,
mesmo.
an universal community under the same creator. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, forgive me and allow me to correct myself. Sisters and brothers who believe in the same creator. This theme is exciting, not only because I am a Roman Catholic priest in Daman, India, and throughout my life I have been dedicated to building and forming communities, but also because I have been privileged to be born within a family of believers, surrounded by a pluriracial society, religious and social, living in full harmony, respecting the diversities of those who believe in something supreme. My parents, already with 10 children, gave us a great example when they even welcomed and adopted an Aboriginal child of just a few days who had lost their mother during childbirth. After this preamble, without wanting to be pessimist, but I want to remember that old aphorism, Homo homini lupus, or man is a wolf to his fellow man, thus threatened over the head of humanity, like sword of Damocles, almost as that invisible virus, egoism, selfishness, that throughout human existence has destroyed the entire attempt to form a universal family, because there was always a Cain and Abel that the Bible tells us. And we know the sad examples that unfortunately we still witness in our days in the four corners of our world, and in most sophisticated ways to dominate, subordinate, silence, or simply eliminate, even taking the life of your fellow man, opponent. Lately, the world has been scandalized and revolted when a few white American policemen took the life of a young black father in an inhuman, savage, cold, and calculated way, leading to revolt not only of black people, but everyone who respects their neighbors as a brother or sister. I continue to be revolted in the United States and in various parts of the globe. However, I firmly believe that human beings have the capacity to find in their hearts a conversion force and to give hands to form a universal or global society, not only at the economic, cultural, social, political level, but even from a religious and fraternal perspective that pervades race, skin color, money, or other forms of power and domain. There are examples of attempts in different sectors and areas. Therefore, people imbued the spiritual force of a spiritual force, of a moral and spiritual obligation to make a route or path in this sense, and aware that the spirit of this supreme being in which we believe will give us his help. For that, it will be necessary to eliminate all the tribalist spirit that still exists in each one of us. Here is my conviction and my humble prayer. Thank you so much to all the listeners. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Well, thank you, Father Antonio, for your meaning and touching words. They have moved us deeply.
Meaningful.
Meaningful, sorry, yeah.
All right, let's continue with our program. Our following speaker is Imam and Dr. Nader Kada, PhD, engineer and researcher working for dialogue between science and religion, very active in Islamic-Christian dialogue at the Italian Episcopal Conference. By the way, he met Pope Francis several times, and he has been a participant in the last World Summit in Korea 2020. So let's welcome him.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, brother and sister, all of you. I want to speak in Italian because it is more comfortable for me. And benvenuti, buonasera a tutti. Vorrei iniziare questo nostro meeting che di una importanza essenziale, è quello proprio di trovarci trovarci tutti insieme sotto Dio. Ecco, questo è il senso anche di una comunità. E su questo vorrei iniziare con questo versetto coranico in lingua araba che viene recitato e poi lo traduco. Viene recitato così in questa lingua antica.
Recita-se nesta língua antiga, assim.
واعتصموا
en el que se
بالله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا صدق الله العظيم. Il significato di questo importante versetto è: aggrappatevi insieme alla corda di Dio e non siate divisi. Rammentate i benefici di Dio su di voi quando eravate nemici e li riconciliò ai vostri cuori. Poi, per la sua benevolenza, siete diventati fratelli. Corano, la famiglia di Imran. In questo versetto coranico è di grande importanza nel comprendere la divina antropologia, vale a dire il progetto uomo-donna che il misericordioso ha impresso nella carne maschile e femminile delle persone e di conseguenza nella storia umana. Questo brano si rivela utile a introdurre il mio contributo in questo incontro sulla nostra unità come famiglia umana sotto Dio. L'essere umano è stato voluto in vista dell'unità, non quella che si esprime nella uniformità, dove una forma prevale e deve prevalere su tutte le altre, condannandole o alla marginalità, o all'estensione. L'unità voluta dalla benevolenza divina è piuttosto quella che si esprime in una diversità riconciliata. Non è mistero che la diversità venga adottata, e di fatto in molti casi lo è effettivamente, come causa prima dell'incomprensione, dell'inimicizia, della violenza, della guerra. Non si comprende e non si sopporta la presenza dell'altro, cioè di chi è diverso da sé. Oppure questa reciproca diversità è alla base dell'atto creatore di Dio. Recito un versetto coranico, dice che o uomini, vi abbiamo creato da un maschio e una femmina e abbiamo fatto di voi popoli e tribù affinché vi conosceste a vicenda. L'interpretazione di questo versetto è che Dio, riferendosi a tutta la gente, uomini, donne, popoli di razze, di colore, di pelle, di culture, di modi di vita, di pensiero, eccetera, dice che essi sono diversi e perché Lui, che è il loro creatore, ha voluto e decretato che sia così. In questo suo disegno invita la gente a riflettere su questi suoi segni ed intravedere la sua grandezza e la sua magnificenza e la sua illimitazione e la sua illimitatezza nel creare ciò che vuole e come Egli vuole. Dio ci dice poi chiaramente il perché ha creato queste diversità, e cioè perché noi ci si conosca a vicenda. In questo suo scopo troviamo due istruzioni molto importanti. La prima è un chiaro invito a sviluppare la conoscenza per non rimanere nell'ignoranza. Il secondo insegnamento ad aprirsi ed avvicinarsi vicendevolmente gli uni agli altri conoscenza è vicinanza e il contrario, cioè l'ignoranza e la lontananza. Se l'ignoranza e la lontananza pervertono l'atto creatore di Dio, la benevolenza divina continua a manifestarsi nella storia attraverso un incessante movimento di riconciliazione che il Corano condensa nella fraternità. Si diventa fratelli nel momento in cui, conoscendo l'altro, avvicinandosi all'altro, ci si accoglie reciprocamente in obbedienza alla divina sapienza. E qui vorrei portare un altro versetto molto importante. In verità presso Dio è il più nobile, presso Dio, vuol dire in truth to God. Ok? E cerco anche di concludere. Ecco, vorrei concludere, diciamo, ecco, con questo versetto che completa l'altro, che presso Dio, in verità presso Dio, in truth to God, in the sight of God, il più nobile akramukum, il più degno d'onore tra di voi è colui che ha più timore di Dio, in verità Dio è sapiente e ben informato. Quindi l'educazione alla fraternità, e questo è il nostro compito di imam, di preti, di rabbini, insieme fratelli, e questa educazione alla fraternità nella prospettiva coranica è quindi inseparabile dall'educazione alla riconciliazione delle diversità. L'educazione alla piena consapevolezza, obbedienza, sottomissione alla divina grandezza e magnificenza passa attraverso la costruzione della fraternità, quale segno della partecipazione all'opera di Dio nella creazione e nella storia. In essa soprattutto la diversità religiosa smette di essere motivo di quello che è, vale a dire dono. La nostra diversità anche nella religione è un dono, è regola divina che ha lo scopo di fare gareggiare tutti quanti e tutta l'umanità nelle buone opere. Grazie a tutti, assalamu alaikum. Grazie.
Grazie, Maneide. We really appreciate everything you said today, and we want to thank you, and we want to thank your assistance in this providential project, which is priceless.
Thank you very much.
All right, so our next speaker is Dr. Francesco Canale, pastor of Equippers Church Evangelical Community in Rome, participant in the first World Clergy Leadership Conference convocation in New York City on 2019. Let's welcome him.
Buonasera a tutti. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share today with you my thoughts and my blessing from Roma, Italia. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
We can
I make sure that. Okay, when I was asked to share a little bit about how becoming a loved world community in this time of great challenges in solidarity, integrity, cooperation, shared prosperity as a family without barriers or prejudices. I was just breaking down this whole matter, and I was just making the list of the elements of the title of today's topic that I was asked to speak about. And solidarity, integrity, cooperation, shared prosperity, family, without barriers, without prejudice. Nowadays, this with all this list of elements, you would think that nowadays this is the agenda or the manifesto of an NGO, a list of goals to achieve for a no-profit organization. But in reality, what I believe that our common creator has established for our existence, these are the keys, the elements for our happiness, our common happiness, a human being, is a stream that includes all these elements. And today what I would like to take advantage of is the wonderful sermon that Jesus shared on Matthew 5. I want to take advantage of a version of the Bible which is not very common. It's called the Message Bible in English, and it's a version that it's very easy to share. And from chapter 5, I want to take just a minute with you so that I can share with you what I believe is the key of our happiness. The Bible sometimes uses the word bless, but I really believe that that's another word for happiness. And this is what I truly believe. This is why I want to take with you. I want you to take with me in this very brief journey, because I believe that it's not a matter of an effort that we need to make in order to achieve solidarity, integrity, cooperation, share prosperity, common barriers, destroying prejudice or turning down prejudice. This is the key for the happiness of the entire world. And when Jesus shared his teaching, he was always gathering crowds. And the first thing I want to say that I love crowds. I love when we share. I love this thing, you know, everybody's taking time from our Sunday afternoon to do something, to share, to do something that we believe can improve our life and the world. And this is very important, because most of the time our world nowadays reacts with indifference to crowds. Whereas when we look at the crowd, when we look at the needs, when we look at humanity and we see the opportunity of sharing, that's always something good. And on verse 5, the list of the verses I will read, they always start with "you are blessed," which another word I want to say today, you are happy. And another way say you are making the difference while being happy of living on this earth. You are blessed. On verse 5, you are blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more, no less. And I believe that if we want to reach, if we want to fight for solidarity, we need to start looking for happiness with what we are and what we have, no more, no less. On verse 6 says, you are blessed when you work a good appetite for God. In Italy, we're very good in making, in pleasing our appetite. We eat a lot. We eat 4 times a day. Well, I do. Most of the people eat 3 times a day. But God can be food and drink, the best meal you ever eaten. And I don't think you need to fustigate yourself. You need to suffer in order to reach integrity. Integrity is, I believe, an achievement that
Credo che sia qualcosa a cui noi arriviamo quando siamo costantemente in connessione con il nostro aspetto spirituale. Noi abbiamo bisogno naturalmente di cibo.
You reach integrity, when you bear in mind that all these 3 elements give you and show you the right path. On verse 7 says, you are blessed when you care. If we want to have shared prosperity, at the moment of being careful, you find yourself cared for. If we want shared prosperity, we need to start caring. That's, I believe, the cornerstone for a world that cares, for a world of shared prosperity is when people care and they're not careless. On verse 8 says, you are blessed when you get in your inside world, so your mind, your heart put right. Then you can see God in the outside world. If we want to really reach from our family a state of where we look at the world as a family, we need to think out of our box, of our needs, of our little fences that we normally tend to build, and that's not that's an exercise that we need to put on. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. Well, cooperation, it's something that we have also to exercise. You discover who you really are and your place in God's family. Most of the time we suffer the fact that this world has placed us, or the way of thinking today has placed them into competition instead of cooperation. And the final verse, verse 10, which is one of my favorites, you are blessed, so you are happy when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom. Now, if we're looking for a world without barriers and prejudices, we will be persecuted for those that don't appreciate that. Because as we have heard before, differences are richness, not a threat. But unfortunately, sometimes people and well, in general, look at differences and spot out a threat instead of a blessing, in other words, happiness. So in conclusion, what I want to say today is that the path that can take all of us, that can take us, what Jesus, I believe, has shared, and what I have taken in simplicity and in humbleness, solidarity, integrity, cooperation, prosperity, and to be a family without barriers and prejudice is a path to happiness that will lead us and our world, the people, our neighbors, in happiness. And in order to do that, sometimes we need to reboot our thinking. We need to switch off, just like a computer, switch off the mind, reset everything, and restart the system. So I believe that an exercise like the one we're doing today, to share and to listen to each other without prejudice and barriers, is an excellent way of starting or keeping doing this. Thank you very much. Grazie molte per avermi ascoltato. I was honored to share this with you. All the best. God bless you. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, and thank you once again. We would like to take your words that were very inspiring and take your words with us. I would like to highlight the fact that we can have 4 meals a day. You said, is that correct? 4 meals a day.
Great.
Okay? It's a way for prosperity and happiness. Okay, let's try again.
Well, it seems that they could find the next guest, fortunately. Let me introduce him again. We have the honor to invite Krishna Kripadasa, a Hindu priest, author, lecturer, and current president of the Hindu Federation of Spain. Let's welcome him.
Namaste.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Suswagatam, as we say in India. Welcome to everybody. I don't know what happened before, but I was here from the very beginning. But
yeah.
It was a technical problem anyway. It's happening in the best families. So I'm delighted and very honored, and I feel privileged to be invited by UPF. And I thank you to all of you, brother and sister, in different paths of God. Also, my gratitude to Armando Lozano from Spain for inviting me to represent Hinduism. As we call Sanatana Dharma, is the oldest way of spirituality who still is alive. It's more than 6,000 years old. And we have like 1,000 million followers, 1 billion followers all over the world. And let me start, since the topic for today is that we are one family. Let me start with a verse, a shloka from one of the sacred scripture from Hinduism, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityuma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The translation is, from ignorance, lead me to truth. From darkness, lead me to light. From death, lead me to immortality. So this is very important that we are in when we are born in darkness. And how we get the enlightenment? We get the enlightenment through the mercy and the teachings of the spiritual master. Myself, I had the great fortune to be a couple of months in the Seoul World Summit, and I was the witness of how much love, respect, and appreciation all of you have for Mother Moon and Reverend Father Moon. I saw myself that we share the same respect and reverence for the spiritual teacher, our father. After our biological fathers, our biological parents, we have spiritual father. Our mother gave birth to us in a material way, and we receive our second birth from the mercy of the spiritual teacher. So it's very important that we get enlightenment through the proper channels, and from death we reach to immortality. But we don't have to wait to die our physical body to reach the immortality. We can do it also with our present bodies. And nowadays we can see that we are so much in the bodily conception of life. I am black, you are white, and Spanish, you are Italian, and Christian, you are Muslim. This makes so many difference. One of the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. So this body, this material body, is only like a dress. Today I am born as a Hindu and a Spanish body, and maybe next birth I can take a female body, a black body, can be a Muslim, whatever Providence say. So too much fighting we are doing because we are so much in the bodily concept of life. Finally, we are all sons and daughters of the same God. And this is the next verse. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The entire world is a family. It's a same creation for a same God. It's not that God make it a world for the Hindus, a different world for the Muslim, another world for the Christian, and we have to kill each other to conquer each other. No. God created an entire world with a lot of variety. And we have to see our differences. And we have to see what we have in common. And we must cooperate with each other because we belong to the same Father. And we can see parents have a different kind of children. One is very intelligent, one is less intelligent, one is very respectful, another one is very naughty, but he loves all of them. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May everyone in the whole world be happy. We have this prayer in Hinduism that everybody in the world must be happy. We're not saying only Hindus we have to enjoy, we have to be happy, the rest of the world have to suffer. No, we say the entire creation, including the animals. We have so much respect for all the living entities. And then another one verse, very important, say, Ekan Sat Vipra Vahuda Vadanti. There is only one truth, and the wise person call it by many names. That means there is only one God. Maybe Hindus we call him Krishna, Vishnu, or Shiva. Muslim call him Allah. The Jew is Adonai. And the Christian Jesus Christ, God. But we are addressing the same God. The difference is only according to our culture and our language. It's like when the sun rises in the sky. In Spain we say sol. English say sun. We say in Hindi Surya. But we are addressing the same sun. So we have different way of praying, different way of addressing the Lord, but He's our Father. And in Hinduism, we consider God Almighty, that He can be male and female. So we can worship Him as a Father, benevolent and merciful Father, and a benevolent and merciful and caring and loving mother. So this is the way, the teaching of Hinduism for bringing all together under the same umbrella, the same parents. Of course, everybody have different ways of addressing the Lord, or tradition, different ways of praying, eating, everything. Like when I was in Korea, no, I was taking Shakahari food, with a vegetarian, other took halal, other took kosher. We have so many varieties, but finally we are respecting the food as being given by God. And just for ending my participation, once again, I recommend World Sacred Scriptures. It's a book published by UPF. It's a book I strongly recommend to everybody, independent of their faith. And it's a book that I wish it can be translated in so many languages and be made compulsory reading to those who are in the spiritual path. Thank you very much to all of you for hearing me, and sorry for the technical mistake. Namaste.
Well, thank you very much, Krishna Kripa, for your meaningful and touching verses. I like the one that says that we are all sons and daughters from the same God, and He loves us the same. We are under the same umbrella. And I'm very glad that at the end we could hear your message. Thank you very much. Well, continuing with our program, next I would like now to present a song called One Family Under God.
Here we stand together, one in our humanity, for we all come from the Father. We are one family.
It's our school of love and peace, where we've learned there's a way for the world to live in harmony, and together we all say, this is where peace begins. Here we sow the seeds of love. It all starts with our knowing we are one family. We are one family under God. Not just body, but spirit. On and on we try to be people who live for others, for love knows no boundary. Neither race nor religion, no barriers can keep us apart. Forgiveness, true understanding, this is how it all starts. This is where peace begins. Here we sow the seeds of love. It all starts with our knowing we are one family. We are one family under God. Under God, we are one. This is where
That was wonderful. I'm really missing the clapping after the songs. It really takes devotion to develop a program like this, overcoming all the technical barriers. This event is a true representation of one family under God. We firmly believe that it's the substantial result of the will of God for these days. And now, I would like to welcome our President of the Family Federation for World Peace, Europe South Region, Giuseppe Cali. He will be sharing with us his expert vision on building a universal community of love. Let's welcome him.
Thank you, David. I'm deeply, deeply inspired by the religious comments and prayer, and were so beautiful. Especially in this time of suffering, I feel very much that the religions can have a role of healing people. We need healing, not just medical healing, also internal spiritual healing. I'm here with my wife. Maybe I would like to ask her to greet everybody first.
Thank you for coming. If you can see, we are 234 connection. So I'm sure all the brothers and sisters here were so happy to listen the message the previous speaker gave, such deep and profound messages. But most of all, I am sure our Heavenly Parent is happy to listen such a deep speech and to create such an atmosphere of brotherhood between each other. And now I like to give the floor to my husband.
Thank you, Betty. She's Elizabeth. Anyway, we are in a really special time. There are people, not just the coronavirus. Coronavirus was the last phenomenon of the world globalization, we can say. Now, whatever problems comes on one side of the world, right away, very quickly goes to the other side of the world. And so we are in a special time, not only of problems, of course, but opportunities. Opportunities, this is important. And we see anyway that people are suffering. We see people on the street from Hong Kong to United States, everywhere, because people are really tired to see such pains, but not the normal pains, natural pains, the human generating pains, sometimes, most of the times, poverty, anger, wars. So there is an incredible desire for peace, for justice, for human rights, for everything is good. And people now go on the street to demonstrate their desire for peace and true life. And this means it's a time of crisis. The word, even the word itself, crisis, means choosing opportunities. It's a time to choose what to do for the future, especially for the future generations. Anyway, I will share with you my screen, because not being almost anybody here the mother tongue in English language, I prefer to share the screen with a PowerPoint, so my message, my English is not perfect, my message will be more clear. So I will share with you my PowerPoint now. Okay, building a universal community of love. I hope you can see that. Okay. First of all, just a moment, because I have to switch off my volume. Okay. Honoring the victims of the virus, their families, and all those who sacrifice themselves trying to save others. First, we have to pray for them, pray for all these victims, innocent victims of the virus, and especially pray. There are so many doctors that they gave their life to help, and civil protection, many volunteers, and so on. But what happened now, that among these difficulties, many people, the consciousness of many people was raised up. The people became more aware of the value of solidarity and caring for each other. Even governments finally started to take care of the people with much more attention. For a while, the money became a secondary topic, not anymore the first. And this is a very good sign, in my opinion. So suffering produces also something good. But what I feel now, we should not go back to the previous selfish world of conflicts and despair. Let's not make all those victims a hero's death being in vain. Let's have a new start, especially for the sake of new generations. So we have to rethink society from money-centered society to love-centered society. My studies are in political science, so I remind many beautiful philosophers and thinking of the past also that said beautiful things that never came to reality actually, but it's good now to remind just a few quickly few things. So first, power and money should primarily serve the common good, are not an end in itself. So this is the basic point. Then Kant said, the purpose of politics is human happiness. Imagine the living together in the same city, in the same country, with the same people. People that govern should think about the happiness of their own people. This should be primarily their desire, their purpose. Then economy, what is economy? It's not a science to make more and more money, to produce more and more money. It is a mother that has the heart to feed all its children, no one excluded. So it's the distribution of wealth to everybody, reaching even the last person in society. Then art, what is art? Is the supreme expression of human talent to generate a spiritual and emotional growth and reflect on the preciousness of life. Art should stimulate people to grow internally, to grow spiritually, to have good emotion and understand how precious is life. Then sport, I just mentioned some of our activities, is the effort to overcome the own limitations, learn self-discipline and express gratitude and joy for the amazing gift that our body is given by God. Now sport became the biggest business. You can imagine why people don't have money even to go to the end of the month. There are people even starving. We pay millions athletes that play soccer, for example. We should understand that this is not because we want to limit the freedom or to do whatever, but our consciousness should say something about that. Then, what is the man? What is the man? What is our innermost nature? From our unification thought, the definition is man is a being of heart. Homo sapiens, is a very old definition, but man should be man of heart, actually. Heart, what is heart? The definition of heart is the innate impulse to seek joy by giving and receiving love. So we have this impulse that we cannot stop. Every man is looking for happiness, and the best way, the main way to find happiness is giving and receive love with the others. That's why we are social beings. So let's go to definition of this Heavenly Parents Holy Community. What we mean as a universal community of love. So let's go word by word to the meaning. Community is the combination of two roots. One is Greek, of course, as always, almost. Koinonia, Greek, sharing the same destiny. Koinoneo, participating. So this word is very precious, it's very important. This is the root. And then the second root comes from Latin, munus. Community means munus. Munus means sharing, donating, reciprocal giving, giving even myself to the others, not just giving something external. So you put together this word.
Quando nós juntamos estas duas palavras, a mesma...
Son las mismas raíces que comunicación.
Giving in a community, a world community, come on the proper time. Going out from coronavirus crisis, we will go out from many other bad things, and we desire to be a world level community. Then holy, what is the meaning of holy? Of course, every religion can give its own definition, but I have a kind of a universal definition now, because of course God is holy. Whatever comes from love, comes from God. So life comes from God, life comes from love. God is the origin of love and life. So we can say, where is God? Where love is in all its forms. So finally we can say, as is written in Psalm 41:3, the Lord sustains them on their sick bed and restores them for their bed of illness. So when the medical doctors took care of people in the time of coronavirus, or when they do every day in the hospital their job, what are they doing? They are representing God's love. When a government make a new law to make the life of the people easier and better, what they are doing? They are representing God's love. Whatever we do is a representation of God's love. This is a Bible teach, and all religion teach actually. The love for God, the love that God has for us is manifested through us, through our activities. So holy means centered on love and care. Holy means a community, holy community means a community in which people live for the sake of others. These make us holy people and holy community. Then another word is Heavenly Parent, the name of universal love. The many names of God. God has many names. In all religions, they have names, special names for God, are all beautiful and full of light. But we have to find a name that that is more universal in some way that everybody can accept easily. And we said that the Mother Moon said Heavenly Parent. Heavenly Parent is universal in many ways. First, it is new. There's no religion debates on which name is better. When you say Heavenly Parent, everybody can recognize that. It means it's the source. It's the source. Parent defines that life comes from Him for all human beings in the same way. So put everybody on the same level, equal level in front of the source of the original life, original love. And then finally, some of you already mentioned, He is father and mother. Women are expression of God as much as men. So when we say parents, we don't say father, we don't say mother, we say father and mother. In Genesis 1:27 it's written, so God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God He created them, male and female He created them. So we are expression of God's divinity as men and women together when we live for the sake of others and so on, what I said, we share the same destiny. This is so important. Then I'd like to go to the conclusion by reading from World Scripture that also our Hindu friend mentioned, where this chapter is Universal Love. It's a sentence from Samyan Moon, written in 1957. You imagine how long ago. You can build the world of peace on this earth if you become people who act according to the kingdom of heaven's universal teaching to unfold the movement of God's love, life, and truth. When you become a person who regards all people as your parents, your siblings, and your children, then as you look upon the multitudes of people suffering in this world of death, you cannot relate to them without tears. If you truly become this kind of person, then you will be a central pillar for building the kingdom of heaven. So a community of love, a community of holy community with the heavenly parents and the heavenly parents' love at the center is a place where we look at each other. Elder people as my father, my mother, my grandfather, my grandmother, my people of the same age as my brothers and sisters, all children as my children. So when we learn to love mankind in this way, we can be part of a wonderful community of love. I feel, brothers and sisters, my friends, that the time has come to make a change. The reason why this holy community is starting is just to make a change, but not to establish a big organization, another church, another religion. This is not the purpose. The purpose is a community. Religions together with the government people, together with the professionals, together with the workers, together with everybody. Everybody should be included. It's not a club, exclusive club. Everybody should be included with the goodwill and cooperate by living with for the sake of others, in building a new atmosphere, a new society. I wish again to thank you for all the inspiration you gave to us today, and I invite you to grow together and make the people of the world aware that the time has come to change everything and make new heaven and new earth. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Yusuf Kali. I'm sure I speak on behalf of my brothers and sisters when I say, count on us to build a universal community of love, to develop, as you say, a love-centered society.
We are very honored to have the representative of the Portuguese Parliament, Honorable Hilda Erugio Novo, high school professor and member of the Portuguese Parliament, who will give us some congratulatory remarks. Please welcome her.
On behalf of the Portuguese Ambassadors for Peace, I'd like to greet Mr. Cully, the President of the FFWPU in the European South region, the representatives of the Universal Peace Federation of Human Peace and the Youth and Student for Peace, the Women's Federation of World Peace, and all the distinguished guests, as well as those who are following us all over Europe, whom I'm honored to address in this event, the inauguration of the Heavenly Parent Holy Community in European South region, for which I sincerely congratulate Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. The purpose of gathering together all God's children and summoning and encouraging us all to lead a life of peace and harmony in our families and places of work is, in my opinion, to be cherished and to be spread as much as I, as an ambassador for peace and a Catholic, and us all, may be able to, wherever we may go or we may be. We have been through an unprecedented time in the history of our lives in whatever country we are living in. We have experienced changes and fears never felt before that have inevitably led to the realization that nothing at all can be taken for granted in our earthly life. However, in this time of pandemic, despite the uncertainty and the suffering it has brought, I believe it has also been a time to recall that tolerance, understanding, solidarity, spiritual values and principles are never to be forgotten. And on this special occasion of the inauguration of the Heavenly Parent Holy Community in the European South region, I once again congratulate all involved in the building of the dream to come true, and I wish you all health and a Europe of lasting peace. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your kind words, and we are very grateful that you could share a bit of your time with us. So, well, let's try once again. Is it possible that our sister Hirasha can share some words? Or maybe, yeah, she's there. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Namaste.
Hello, namaste.
It's a grand privilege for me to represent Hindu community of Portugal here in Lisbon. And since I have been hearing all of you, it's like very good ideas and the way you have all have been speaking. And my colleague, Mr. Krishnadas Kripa, the way he said about the Sanatan Dharma, and I am also the same follower of, and I would like to add to his speech that this is our, I think in my point of view, this is our generation war. And I think nothing will ever be the same. But in this last few weeks, many have tried to explain how all of the disruption from this COVID-19 have felt to them. There has been an overwhelming feeling of unfairness as people have cancelled everything from weddings to funerals. The sacrifices required have been very big, whether risking personal health and safety to provide for others, losing the opportunity to celebrate once in a lifetime events, or increasingly losing your job as well. And given the level of this ambiguity and uncertainty of how life will look, because we never know and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, or maybe next week or month, or in a 2 from now, the level of anxiety many of us we are having, that is like really high, and it's increasing day by day. In the face of this financial and physical stress which COVID-19 has brought, it can be difficult to consider our emotional and spiritual health as well, which is affecting in a very, very grand way. However, in this world of uncertainty, I would like to add that Hindu teachings and practices are helpful in taking care of ourselves in the most essential and basic ways. Don't think that I'm like promoting just one religion, but few morals are like universal for everyone. It's irrespective to whatever religion like we are following. But if we follow certain paths in life, I think it is going to help us to pass this difficult time together and make the world more better. First thing is I would like to tell that you accept your feelings, like angry, frustration, scared, lonely, because it's obvious we are feeling, this is what we are feeling at the moment. Not we youngsters, maybe the old people, kids who are having less communication, they might be feeling this. And we all are feeling a lot big feelings right now, and it's tempting to push away them and all the discomfort they bring. However, until we are able to process and accept how we are feeling, we cannot move on. And any suppression will just lead things to bubble up with their consequences down the time. So practice accepting what you are feeling and validating the feelings of those around you first, that is surrounding you, your family people, your friends, whoever you meet them. It is very important that you accept them and help them to accept the situation. This is really difficult for each of us in unique way, and it's okay to accept that. You will find that when you accept yourself and your feelings, you will feel that gradually you are passing by the situation. Okay, you haven't found the cure of the COVID, but still you will be a little bit relaxed. You won't be stressed out too much. Second thing, you need to understand that what is in your hands, what you can control. Likewise, in our holy book, the Bhagavad Gita can be a particular source of comfort at this time, I tell you. For most of us, our dharma today is to first and foremost is to follow the guidelines being put out by our local, state and federal governments to protect ourselves, our families, our communities on small and large scales, despite the sacrifices entailed. I say most because dharma is in context driven, and many among us may have a dharma that drives them in different direction as they provide healthcare and other essential services, despite the personal and even familiar risk they all incur in doing so. And remembering some of many principles of dharma is satya, like truth. You always say truth. Ahimsa, that is non-harming, that you don't harm anyone. And karuna, that is compassion. Love, that is what I'm talking about. And aparagra, that is non-greed. All grounded in our individual context to make decision while letting go of expectation of the individual of the results can bring much needed clarity and peace to each of our individual's life. The third thing is that we must know that what can be controlled. Even as much is outside of our power, we have the ability and responsibility to take care of ourselves holistically on physical, mental, and spiritual level. And it is very important that we control first ourselves, our feelings, our thoughts. That is going to put it into the habit. So it's very important that we control ourselves. Routines are important and predictably can be soothing. Nourish yourself with exercise and food you enjoy. Use newly available time to do things that help yourselves move towards your values, towards your dharma. Karma, enjoyment of the material world, too, is one of our traditional goals of human life, since like due to COVID-19, everyone is quarantined in the house, and you can do these things. You can do dharma, karma, you can enjoy with the family life, with the friends, like with Zoom and video calling, everything. This is a part of karma. You have to enjoy. You cannot be keep on remaining stressed out and just feeling scared that you're not going to pass from this. No, it's not that. That is what the Hindu teaching is. And it is important to find the meaning of both joy and your work, your responsibility toward the society in this difficult time. Social distancing doesn't have to mean social disconnecting, and we can still find ways to connect with friends, family, and others who inspires us to make us laugh with the limitless potential of the interest. Now I would like to tell you what we can control. We can control a lot of things. It's just in our mind. We just need to focus on it and just put it in the act. Many things we can do without going out of the house or without going out of our room. We can do so many things. Just as we need to let go of the fruits of our actions, we need to let go of which is not in our control. That is the first thing we have to do. Hindu teachings and spiritual practices offer many ways for us to bring ourselves back to the here and now and release ourselves from the pain and regret around thinking about that which has already passed, and the anxiety and the fear around thinking about the future, which we cannot predict or control. We can use Hatha Yoga or Prana Yoga to ground ourselves in this moment. I hope everyone is knowing about the yoga, and it's been a biggest tool, biggest support for your mind, for your physical appearance, for your calmness, for feeling good, for in a spiritual way. It is the best way that you can practice yoga in your home, and you're absolutely going to feel very refreshed.
Okay, Nina. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. It's really interesting what you're saying. It's super interesting. Unfortunately, we have a limited time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about that. It's super interesting what you're saying. And we would like to keep listening to your words for a long time, sure.
Okay, so should I finish it? I don't know whether.
I mean, if you could take like about 1 minute, it would be perfect.
1 minute, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what I would like to tell you that there are so many things that you can explore yourself, and the thing is that if you follow this rules and morals in your life, I think there is nothing in life that you cannot conquer or achieve. So the first and the foremost thing is like you need to keep control on yourself and make your mind and thoughts stable, and then maybe you can help your family, your society, staying at home as well. You can do it. And not the therapists and the gods, nor the gurus, but their trainings does allow us to provide a function that always been valued in our faith. The space to slow things down, process how you're feeling, and to come to a clarity about what you need, how do you get through it. This unprecedented time have brought unprecedented level of distress upon all us, and taking care of ourselves is important through it, and it can be difficult but not impossible. Above all else, it's important to be kind and patient with yourself, with your families, friends, your community, and you navigate your circumstances and figure out how your dharma in this moment stays. So namaste and best wishes to everyone. Have a good day. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. And yes, seems like we're getting close to the conclusion of our program. And to bring it to the right spirit, I would like to invite the president of the Universal Peace Federation in Italy, Carlo Sonato, who will read a declaration on religious and social harmony.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. This is the inaugural declaration of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community for South Europe. Today, Sunday, June 14th, 2020. First of all, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to Mrs. Haq Jahan Moon for her timely and precious start of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, especially while humankind is going through a painful course and there is an urgent need for new hope and new start. We are witnessing to an unprecedented time in our history. The coronavirus emergency is just the last phenomenon of the world globalization that, up to now, focused mainly on external factors and economic system that produced large areas of poverty and injustice, even inside the most advanced countries. Despite it, in this last period of suffering under the pandemic, many people rediscover the importance of solidarity, self-sacrifice, and living for the sake of others. We don't want to restart from the old selfish lifestyle at all levels that brought social disasters and despair to mankind. It's time to revive our societies, starting from ourselves, our families, communities, churches and institutions, to inject the true spirit of love and care for the others. We are horrified by the escalation of violence and rioting throughout the United States. We join with many religious, civic, and public organizations in calling for a halt to the violence, a full inquiry, the unequivocal pursuit of justice, and above all, a commitment to eradicate the twin cancers of racism and discrimination from public and private life. To be effective and have an impact, we need to unite in one holy community, gathering together all men and women of good conscience, faith, and unselfish will, under the grace of our Heavenly Parent, the common Creator, origin of life, love, and joy. We will invest our energies for justice, shared prosperity, and peace all over the world, where the Heavenly Parent's holy community is established. In this time of trouble, we call on all people to forgive, love, and unite. We call on our fellow humanity to actively strive for equality by changing our hearts and actively seeking reconciliation wherever hatred and revenge are raised. Let us be willing to work together so that these horrors stop once and for all, and work to build a righteous, caring, holy community where all the Heavenly Parent's children are valued, loved, and respected. Amen. Aju. Thank you, Heavenly Parents.
Thank you once again, Carlos Donato, President of Universal Peace Federation in Italy, for reading in such a powerful way. So, with this final message, we're coming to an end. It was a pleasure for us to be here today sharing our time with all of you, dear brothers and sisters. We hope you enjoyed this event and got great inspiration to keep working hard to bring peace and love to this world.
Yeah, and we want again to thank all the participants who shared their time and heart with all of us and people connected. Wish you all many blessings. Well, basically the program is finished, but for those who wish to stay a little bit longer, we have a video with all the activities of our brothers and sisters from around Italy, Portugal, and Spain. So if you want, now that the official program is done, we can watch it now, together. And for those who don't want to watch it, once again, we wish you all the best permissions, and we hope to meet again soon. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.